Hello and welcome to the daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings, dear friends and subscribers. I welcoming you all to this daily cricket show today by congratulating the West Indies. So it's a great feeling for all the West Indian cricket fans as West Indies have become the first team to reach the finals of the ICC World Cup qualifiers. But more than that, they have qualified for the 2019 World Cup, which is coming in England. So congratulations to the West Indies, and so they have passed the first test, and this was the test that they had to pass, and they have come up, I would say, in a very triumphant manner, and now they are the ones who have already booked the ticket into the finals, and they would be awaiting the team which is going to meet them in the finals, because as you know, those two teams will be going would be the two spots, will be occupying the two spots that are vacant in the 2019 World Cup. So that is one thing. Other than that, today, probably right now when I'm speaking to you, probably we are looking at probably an hour's time from now, we will have the first ever day-night test match being held in New Zealand. So New Zealand have already played day-night test matches, but this test match is a sort of a really, I think New Zealand will be making history because, and I'm sure all the cricket fans over there in New Zealand would be flocking the stadium. It's going to be played at the picturesque Eden Park in Auckland, and it's the first test match between between New Zealand and England, and it should be a nice beginning, I thought, for the test series, and definitely the ground will be bathed in nice lights. There'll be a nice shining pink ball which will be bowled at the batsman under lights. And New Zealand, as I said, are hosting their first ever day-night test match in their history. And that is a proud moment for New Zealand. And other than that, in the Pakistan Super League, Peshawar Zalmi, for the second consecutive time, have entered the finals of the Pakistan Super League, led by the victorious captain Darren Sammy, as Kamran Akmal blitzed a 27 ball 77 to take his team home, and Karachi Kings were decimated. And so that is Peshawar Zalmi are into the finals of the PSL 2018. But first, let me talk about this game between West Indies and Scotland. So this was the 31st match in the Super Sixes ICC Cricket World Cup qualifiers at Harare, the capital of Zimbabwe. So it was the West Indies who batted first, and I can tell you one thing, that West Indies were in early trouble. Chris Gayle, who's the biggest trump card for the West Indies, has failed miserably, according to me. Even though West Indies have reached the 2019 World Cup, the finals, I thought Chris Gayle is due for a big innings in the finals, because Chris Gayle has not been delivering the goods. And once again, Safyan Sharif was very, very impressive. In fact, if you look at Safyan Sharif's figures, he moved the ball very well and he bowled superbly to pick up 9 overs, 1 made and 27 runs and 3 wickets. So you would see, even though West Indies won the match, the man of the match was given to Safyan Sharif. And the reason being, he was absolutely splendid with the ball. He troubled all the West Indian batsmen. Look at his bowling figures. I mean, to bowl to this mighty West Indian team and bowl 9 overs, 1 made and 27 runs and 3 wickets is a task in itself. And Safyan Sharif has done exceedingly well, and I'm sure he would be promising better things for his country, Scotland, in the future. So Gayle was the first wicket to go, caught by Matthew Cross for naught, and then more trouble as Shai Hope left for naught to the bowling of Safyan Sharif, and then it was a sort of a rebuilding phase which was done by Evan Lewis, who made 66 of 87 deliveries with 7 fours and 2 sixes. Marlon Samuels contributed 51 in that partnership of 98 balls with 4 fours. And once again, after that, that was the only partnership of note that one could talk about. Other than that, it was pretty tough going for the West Indies. So full credit to the Scottish bowlers to really ground the West Indian innings to a halt at 198, and that was superbly done, I thought. B. Wheel was also impressive, 9.4 overs, no made in 34 runs and 3 wickets. Evans had 10 overs, 1 for 58. 7 overs, none for 28 for TV Soul. Michael Leask also did a good job, 10 overs, no made in 2 for 36. And 3 overs for 12 runs and 1 wicket for Barrington. Just going through the West Indian card here, Solomon Hetmyer was out for 4 of 11 deliveries. Holder was out for 12 of 18 deliveries. No force. Roman Powell was consumed by Sharif, once again coming back into his second spell. Picked up that important wicket. Roman Powell, who could have really transformed things with his big hitting. He was out for 15 of 26, was kept quiet without any boundary or 6. Brathwaite was out for 24 of 26 with 1-6. Nurse was out for 5. Kimo Paul for 5. Kemar Roche was not out on naught. Now it was the turn for the West Indies, for the Scotland, to go and chase a target of 199 to win the match. And due to the rain, the match had to be decided by the Duckworth-Lewis method, and the Scotland were given a revised target of 131 runs to win from 35.2 overs, and in the process they only managed to get 125 for 5. In fact, they also had their problems as West Indies bowlers Kemar Roche and Holder put them on the back foot with Matthew Cross playing onto his stumps from a lifter from Holder. He was gone for 4 of 10 deliveries. The captain Kyle Coetzer left for just 2 runs to the bowling floors of 7 balls. Michael Jones was also consumed by Roche for 14 of as many balls with 1-4, and that made the score 25 for 3. And then a very brief revival with Callum MacLeod and Barrington getting together, but then Ashley Nurse, the spinner, picked up the wicket of MacLeod for 21 of 51, 1-4, and then Barrington was sent back to the pavilion by the Ashley Nurse LBW for 33 of 68 balls with 4 fours. And then, as you know, the target was decided by the Duckworth-Lewis method, which was 131, and then Munshi and Leask tried their best, but all they could do is they could actually, because of the pressure that the Scotland were in after losing 4 wickets for 67, meant that Munshi and Leask had to be a bit careful, and that's what they precisely were. But in the end, the victory was West Indies, as Scotland mustered 125 for 5 in the 35.2 overs, just falling 5 runs short, and West Indies getting a Duckworth-Lewis win by 5 runs, and thus not only entering the finals of the ICC World Cup qualifiers, but breezing into the World Cup 2019 in England. Munshi was not out on 32 of 52 balls, 5 fours. Michael Leask was not on 14 of just 10 deliveries with 2 fours. And the bowling figures, Kemar Roche, 7 overs, 2 minutes, 2 for 20, bowled superbly, has been doing a wonderful job, according to me, in this World Cup qualifiers. Jason Holder, 7 overs, 1 for 31. Kimo Paul was economical, 5 overs, none for 12. Brathwaite, 7 overs, 2 minutes, none for 27, did his bit. Ashley Nurse picked up the wickets as well, 9.2 overs, no made in 2 for 35. And Sufyan Sharif, as I said, even though West Indies finished on the winning side, the man of the match or the player of the match went to Sufyan Sharif, and rightly so, for his splendid bowling, as he picked up 2 important wickets to really put West Indians on a really a tight leash here, when he picked up 2 important wickets, that of Chris Gale, the marauder, and Shai Hope, the stabilizer. Well, so this is as far as West Indies and Scotland were concerned. So Scotland, I think Scotland have already lost their chances. They have to, they are out of the World Cup. So now West Indies will be awaiting the next team that will be meeting them in the finals, and now they can breathe absolutely free. And I'm sure a lot of West Indian cricket fans would be very happy with this result. And now they know that they can really be rested, because West Indies had a reputation of coming in. I think it was 3 finals in the World Cup, and they have already won it twice, I suppose. So I think it's a great feeling for them. They would be mighty relieved now that they have reached the 2019 World Cup after playing in the qualifiers. Now, the next thing, as I said, as I'm speaking to you, probably 1 hour from now, we'll have history made in New Zealand at Eden Park in Auckland, where the first test of the series between England and New Zealand will be played under lights with a pink ball. And as I said, they say that the weather over there is not really congenial, There is also a threat of rain as well, but I'm sure, being this first a time a day-night test match is ever played in New Zealand, I'm sure there's going to be the crowd which is going to flock at the stadiums for sure. And let's have a look at the teams, and just doing a brief preview here. Looking at the, looking at the day-night test matches that has happened. 8 day-night test matches have happened, and every test match has really brought about a result. Not only that, we have seen some big innings. Azhar Ali of Pakistan made 302 against the Aussies. Chris Gayle has made a century. Alistair Cook has made a double century. So one can understand as to what this day-night test matches, what could be in store for the day-night test matches. Looking at the team here, the New Zealand team, I'm sure they would love to give their fans a wonderful present in the day-night test matches if they could win against England. And New Zealand are the ones. New Zealand definitely have never played at home, but they were the ones who, Australia and New Zealand were the ones who played the first ever test match with a pink ball, as you would remember. It was played back in Australia, and Australia won the match. So New Zealand, well, they have a solid opening pair in G. Travel, who has definitely made an impression, and he and Tom Latham. As you know, Tom Latham is someone who is absolutely tailor-made for test matches, and he is the one who will be opening with G. Travel. Kane Williamson, the captain, we all know what a classy player he is and what a wonderful captain he is. Ross Taylor is in some very good form, and his experience always comes to the fore. Henry Nicholls is another one who is an upcoming cricketer from New Zealand who has been doing a good job. BJ Watling always relishes test matches. He's the one, a go-to man. If the chips are down, he's always there for New Zealand to really start, I would say, really rebuilding the innings, which Watling does it very well. Colin de Grandhomme, the all-rounder, who also bats very well. And then they have the right arm offie, Todd Hassel, the leggy, I suppose. Todd Hassel is a leg spinner. Todd Hassel is the leg spinner who is there in the team. And then the I would say, the tried and trusted test pair of Tim Southee and Trent Boult. And let's talk about Neil Wagner, who is in the mix. And Neil Wagner, as you know, is someone who can extract life out of any pitch. He's not the one to just keep bowling and seeing that nothing is happening in the pitch and he's going to just stay quiet. We all know what Neil Wagner can do. He can extract life out of the pitch. According to me, he's a bouncer bowler. He will get those short balls at the throat of the Englishman for sure. And we all know what an aggressive bloke he is on the field as well. So it should be a nice contest according to me. And but only thing is, this is going to be a pink ball, so it will be very interesting. England, well, Alistair Cook already has the experience of scoring a double century, as you know, against the West Indies in day-night test matches. So Alistair Cook and Mark Stoneman, who did a very good job in Australia, will be opening with Alistair Cook. James Vince is another one who is slowly trying to cement his place in the English team. Joe Root, the captain, will be leading the show. David Mallon, who did a good job in Australia back, but I always felt that he's I always have felt that he's someone who is really very good for test matches, but very good for one days and T20s. But still, David Mallon can definitely play the waiting game as well. And then the Ben Stokes inclusion, which greatly strengthens the team, as you know what he brings to the table. Johnny Bairstow is another one coming in at number 7, and we always have talked about the England batting order, which bats up till number 10, Stuart Broad. James Anderson is the genuine tail-ender there. Johnny Bairstow, the wicket-keeper. Moeen Ali coming in at number 8, so you can just see how strong this England batting lineup is. Chris Wokes coming in at number 9, another wonderful player, all-rounder. Stuart Broad is another all-rounder at number 10, and James Anderson comes in at number 11. So that will give you a real taste of how these English batting order is. The English batting order bats till the last. The Eden Park groundsman has said he has left a little more grass on the pitch, and there's also showers forecast on every day. There should be some showers. And I think it's going to be a very interesting day-night test match. As I said, Eden Park, Auckland in New Zealand will be making history when this first ever day-night test match is played in New Zealand at Eden Park in Auckland. Well, from here, let's get on to the Pakistan Super League. Now, Pakistan Super League, today was the eliminator. Yesterday we saw one eliminator being played. Today it was the other eliminator. This was also a very wonderful match. Not as exciting as what turned out to be yesterday, where the Quetta Gladiators were pushed away. Here it was Peshawar Zalmi taking on the Karachi Kings. Peshawar Zalmi batted first, and Kamran Akmal was simply scorching boundaries and sixes at absolute will as he smashed 77 of just 27 deliveries, which included 5 fours and 8 wonderful sixes. 34 from Andre Fletcher. In fact, Andre Fletcher and Kamran Akmal put on 107 runs for the first wicket in just 9.1 overs. So you could just imagine what was the mayhem that Kamran Akmal was creating, and also Andre Fletcher to a certain extent. 34 of 30 deliveries, 3 fours and 2 sixes. Barring that, Dawson out for 13, Hafiz 13. Liam Dawson was sent in as 1 drop. Hafiz 13. Sammy 23 of 12, 1 4, 2 sixes to Darren Sammy. Naseem 2, Riyaz Duck. And as far as the bowling was, Amir was the one who could really get a handle on the Peshawar Zalmi batting. Even though Kamran Akmal was smashing it all across the park, Mohammad Amir was the one who could actually stop him. 4 overs, none for 16. Usman Khan was totally thrashed to all corners of the field by Akmal as he leaked 48 runs of his 3 overs with 1 wicket. Time Al Mills 3 overs, 2 for 23. Bopara 3 overs, none for 3 for 35. Usam Amir 2 overs, none for 29 was also slashed. Danish Aziz bowled 1 over for 16. Now Karachi Kings were given a target of they were given a target of 171 to win, but Mukhtar Ahmed at the top, who really likes to hit, was out for 1. Joe Denley did his job, but he brought them very close, but could not take them over the finishing line, with the target being pruned down. 171 runs to win. It was not a 20 overs game because of some rain, and the overs had to be pruned, and it was a 16 over a side game, and the Mukhtar Ahmed was out for 1. Denley contributed an unbeaten 79 of 46 balls, 9 fours and 4 sixes, but it was still not enough. Babar Azam's contribution was 63 of 45, 6 fours and 2 sixes. Ingram was not out on 5, and the game was over with Peshawar Zalmi eliminating the Karachi Kings from the competition, and Peshawar Zalmi has become the first team to enter the finals of the Pakistan Super League 2018. Hassan Ali 4 overs, 1 for 41. Sameen Gul 3 overs, no maiden, 1 for 20. Jordan 3 overs, none for 27. Wahab Riaz 3 overs, none for 36. Umar Asif 3 overs, none for 27. And Kamran Akmal for his very smashing innings of 77 of 27 was rightly named man of the match. Well, dear fans and subscribers, so just keep your eyes fixed, and as I can't wait to watch New Zealand versus England, the first test match, the first day's play at Eden Park in Auckland, where New Zealand, it'll be interesting to see what's going on in New Zealand, Eden Park in Auckland, when the first ever day-night test match is going to be played in New Zealand. New Zealand are hosting their first ever day-night test match. So, well, dear fans, and the pink ball, the shining pink ball, will be great to see under the lights. Well, dear fans and subscribers, it's about time for me to say goodbye or good night on this cricket show, and with more to come, this is good night.